people for their contribution for building and nurturing communities that support open source technology, cybersecurity for the better safe and the safe world. Today's episode, we will have to talk with Hiren Dave, who has been working with IT industry for over more than 50 plus years. Hiren is a CTO, product manager, tech speaker, consultant, developer, and so many other factors that can add it to him. He has published two ebooks, name called Instant Sencha Touch, and writer of the two technical blogs. Welcome to TACOS, Hiren.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mehul. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to join with you on the very first episode of TACOS, and it's really great initiative by you. So really want to thank you for your efforts, to encourage open source and, to demonstrate and to, reward the people who are contributing to the open source. So it's a great initiative, and I'm very, very, very well excited about it. So yeah, thank you again
Yeah,
for letting me.
actually, when I thought that when I want to start, like who will be the first person I would have to invite? So I think you are the one of the person who actually inspired me a lot to contribute more into this ecosystem. So who
Right.
will be the better person to start with? So it's my pleasure and privilege that you are my first guest. So upon that, you have worked with different clients and different profiles. So how was your overall experience? So jumble with the multiple profiles because I've seen people struggling when they not able to work with the different profiles, and when I see you, you quite easily do that. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so yeah, my journey has been a roller coaster ride, you can say. Jumping from one designation to another designation and jumping from one industry to another industry. But I would say it's all about, flexibility, like, how you are flexible to the situation, how you are accepting the challenges, and how you are, once accepting the challenges, how you overcome the challenge, and how you actually plan about the situations, right? So like, I started my journey with one of the MNC company, but unfortunately it didn't work out very well. Then I started my own company. When I started my own company, I was like new to it. I didn't have any experience of client facing, no experience of marketing, no experience of sales, no experience of customer service, but still I did it. And yeah, gradually learned many things, failed so many times, learned from the failures, and then that's how, you rebuild yourself. You assess yourself, okay, what mistakes you have make, and then, overcome that. So that's how. But particularly, you have to be very flexible. And first thing, that is the first thing. Second thing is that you should be ready to accept the challenges. Don't be afraid of the challenges. Yeah, it might happen that you may fail, but then don't afraid of failure. That is the first thing. If you are afraid of failure, then you will not be able to, jump from one thing to another thing, right? And second thing is that proper planning is required. So let's say if you are, jumping from one industry to another industry, and it is not planned very well, then it might not work. So that is the second thing. So that's how I, jump from one industry to another industry, and so far it went very well, I would say. So Mehul, I can't hear you.
Yes, so I would like to add to that, that of course you said that flexibility, but what I can see over here is when you said, so there is interest area where you working, and there is also passion that is actually flowing that you wanted to work in this particular area,
Right.
and also I've seen that you're also mentoring a lot of people as well. So how how you make like what made you interest in this particular area, and when you mentor, like what motivates you to mentor as well?
Okay, so to answer that, like, first is about the passion of the technology. That is the first thing, right? When I see that, okay, you can come up with a revolutionary ideas, revolutionary product that can change the industry, and that can solve the problems of the industries, right? That can solve the problem of the peoples, and that was one of the motivation factor, that okay, by way of technology, you are empowering the industries, you are empowering the life of people. So that is the first thing. Second thing about mentoring is like, it's all about, giving back to the communities. Like, okay, and you can see that, okay, a lot of people are, posting on the internet, and you get a help from that. And that's how I started my blogging as well. It was like, I faced some issues, and I come up with a solution, and I posted on the blog. And then it's been almost 6 months, I never looked at it. But when I once upon a time, I logged in and I saw the comments like, hey man, you saved our life, you saved our job. And that was a motivating thing for me. Like, okay, my single blog is helping a people to save the job. Now that is the best motivation factor, and that's how I started, and that's how I had this passion of mentoring the people, that okay, I whatever the skills I have, I can help people. So it's about, one of the characteristic of the leader, like being a leader, you have to create a new leaders, right? It's not like you just lead by like lead by example, right? So that's how it goes, and that was the best motivation for me, that okay, my blog, my advices are helping people to save their job, to come up with, to overcome the challenges and all. And that's how, that is the best motivation, I would say. Like anybody can get nothing like this. Okay, when you read this, okay, you saved my job, right? So that's how it came up.
Absolutely right, and I think that reminded me a couple of my lines when I used to say that, because when I started mentoring, that being a lead, what is the best quality of leadership?
Yeah,
So I always answer that being a leader, you should bring new leaders into the community. I think that
exactly.
shows a leadership skill, right? You should
Right,
not be always leading it, but something that you train someone, you mentor someone, so they can also come, because not every person is very let's say wide open, or let's say very do they have stage fear, but I think
right,
everyone has it, they somehow they overcome it, right?
right,
So
right.
you said about your first blog experience and how people are reading about it. So similarly, I've seen you a lot of time, you presented in so many conferences, local meetups as well. And I my personal experience, my first talk, when I presented my first talk, it was horrible, and that actually I nurtured a lot from that. So what was the first talk about, like how the experience, are you little hesitate, or is there something happening in your stomach? So what was it about? Like, we really like to hear it.
Right. So I would say it all started in year 2017. Before that, I was like a hardcore developer who spent almost 10 or 15 hours a day on the laptop, behind the laptop, I would say. And one day I was like, I was very much frustrated with the work, and I was thinking like, okay, maza nahi aa raha hai, that kind of thing, right? So I opened a site called meetup.com, and I saw one of the meetup from GDG Ahmedabad. It was about GDG Ahmedabad. They were looking for a speaker for their upcoming web event. And without thinking anything, I just applied for that. Okay, that I want to be a speaker. I was not having any previous experience, but I was confident on my technical skill. That okay, if I'm coming as a speaker, I would have a great demo and great presentation, and that's how it started. I applied as a speaker. I got a reply that hey, welcome. We wanted to host you, and in overnight I created a presentation demos, and we it was about progressive web application. That first session was about progressive web application. There were two speakers and we both presented, and it really went well. And like, one thing, one line I get from one of the audience, that where were you since long, and why didn't you started earlier? And then it was like, I thought, yeah, he's right. I have this skill, I have this skill, that okay, I can do a technical talks and that can help people. Then why shouldn't I do that? And that's how I started. And that's how I once it is started, I never looked back. It all started with that one single event. Then I presented on many India level event, and since then I become, from speaker to organizer. That was my journey of GDG Ahmedabad and one of the another community called Laravel Ahmedabad. At both community, I started as a speaker, and then I joined both community as an organizer. That's how my passion came up. Right? It's not just about technical speaking, but yeah, organizing the events, looking for the best speakers. Going with the trends of the technologies, coming up with the topics that can encourage and enrich the communities and the developer, and that's how it started, and it's going really well as of now. So yeah.
I think what I would say over here is that community experience is really shaping people's life.
Right.
And as you mentioned about GDG Ahmedabad, so I think I would say GDG Ahmedabad is one of the most active community in Gujarat. And even I still remember I presented in DevFest GDG Ahmedabad in 2017. And I think first time I met you at that time, because you
Yeah.
were also speaking there. And I think in the lunch time when we having this conversation, and you mentioned at that time that this is your first tech conference, right?
Right.
And I was shocked because I attended a session because it's right after me. and but unfortunately I was not able to. I just attended the last couple of glimpses, and I was so impressed because the way you explain. See, the most important part which I've seen being a speaker is how you explain the particular term in a very simple way so that your audience will understand, and that's something not everybody can does it. And because I don't know about progressive web development because I'm not a developer, but when I attended it, I know your example what exactly you're talking about. So
Right.
that actually made me move, and I really so that actually was a shock for a time that okay, is the first talk. Then where were you all the time, man? So
Yeah.
and I seen all the time that you continue speaking it, and I really like the way you explain it. That is one of the most important part. Like whenever people ask that what are the quality that any speaker should have, I say that you should know your audience. Second, that
Exactly.
you should know like how you can, because you're presenting for them, not for yourself. So that is one of the, so talking about community, you already shared one experience that you know how, but any particular experience that you would like to share about your community experience, maybe it's with JDG Ahmedabad or the Laravel community or any other community that you're part of.
Yeah, so there are many experiences. There are many good experiences. Like I said, one is the one I already shared that at my first talk I got this feedback that okay, you have this capability. Why you are presenting so late, right? So that is the one thing. And I would say after every talk, what I feel is that people come to you. They want to learn from you, and it's like more of the discussion behind the stage is happening, right? People come to you, they ask for your suggestions, they ask for your problems, and that's how you help the people, right? Not just about the with the technical talks, but whatever the experience I have so far, I'm using that experience to help the community people, right? And that is, I would say, a good experience for me in every talk wherever I go for the talk, right? That's what I feel about it, that it's just about helping the people, and it's always a good experience that after the talk, people come to you, they want to know more about you, they they want to get an advice from you. And one more experience I would say that I'm just not being as a speaker. I also like people to start being a speaker. So many times, I attend these conferences and all, and people come to me and say, "Hey, sir, I also want to be a speaker, but I am afraid of that. How should I start that?" Right? And that's why, that's where I help the people that okay, first thing is that don't be afraid of thing. It is just about taking first step. Once you take the first step, then there is a whole road is open for you for the traveling, right? So this is my community experience. Like I it's really good so far. You help the people, you help people become technical speaker, you encourage them, right? And you help them in solving their problems. Sometimes they come to us and I'm facing this problem in this my project, how to solve that, right? And this is how. And and in between that, you also get to meet a lot of peoples, like we met first time in the DFS 2017, right? That's how, when you attend this kind of conferences, you can get an opportunity to meet a variety of people from different industries, right? And that's where you come to know about that okay, what's happening in the industry, what are the best practices, and that help you in terms of your career and so many things. So that's all I can say about my community experience. It's been phenomenal, I would say, so far, and I want to continue with that all energy what I have so far. So
Of course, and actually that is actually anyways it's reflecting over here. You so enthusiastically saying all those things, and I can relate to that because I think the best part of community that you meet like-minded people, right?
yeah,
And that may be converted to your a very good friendship as well, a mentorship, so many other things. And one good thing that I would like to say in a nutshell is that I believe in the concept called learn by teaching, right?
exactly.
So when
Yeah,
you're teaching somebody, first thing gonna take a step is that you learn first. So ultimately it is works in your case. So ultimately you grooming yourself, you keep on upgrading yourself, and that you are sharing to the people who look up to you basically. Because
right.
I seen that when I posted my first video on YouTube, it so many people loved it, but the only problem that I'm not able to consistently give it them because now the expectation is very high because they
Yes,
wanted always something more. So that's the reason I think I'm strongly believing that principle that you always need to upgrade yourself. And I know that whenever we had a chance to talk, you always saying me that you should do this, you should do this. And yes, somehow I'm not able to manage it, but yeah, I'm trying my best to do that. So on that, we are talking about hustle. I see that hustle, innovation, motivation, a lot of things. You work full time. You managing these two communities as well, and you'll do a lot of other stuff. You mentor people. So just one question out of curiosity: how do you manage your work life balance, man?
Right. So that is very, very important because all of us get only 24 hours in a day. No, we cannot get more than that, right? So we have to. So I would say, first thing is about setting up the priority, right? So because you have a, full-time job, you are working somewhere for the full-time job, and that's where, considering the experience, number of experience, your responsibilities are more. There also you have the higher expectations, right? So it's all about, balancing. But before that, you have to set up the priority, right? So I would say like balancing between a work and the community work, right? So mostly what I normally do is that I set up the priority there, and I prepare a plan that okay, in next month, what will be my work life, what will be my work look like, and if I want to plan any event, or if I want to, if I want to organize any event, or if I am planning to, do a session, right? So that's how I set up a priority. I start preparing it for the early stage, and with the proper plan, you can execute that, right? And of course, we get a lot of help from our team as well. It's not like I just do. It's not a one man show anyway, right? Whenever we want to organize an event, all our team like GDG Ahmedabad and Laravel Live Ahmedabad, both team member help us in properly execution of the event. But yeah, you need to have a proper planning, and you have to set up your priority. Okay, based on that. And another thing is that because as I said, you don't get much number of hours, you have only 24 hours. So you have to cut down a little bit about the other activity, like the social media and all kind of things. So this is what I do normally. Over the weekend, I don't spend much time on the social media except for the blogging and all, and that's how I get a more number of hours, and that number of hours I can devote to the lot of things like community help and mentoring the other people, and that kind of things. So that's how we normally do, like with proper planning, set up your priorities, cut down the distractions, and that's how it work.
मुझे अपना सोशल मीडिया कम करना पड़ेगा लगता है.
No, but I think you are active, very much active on social media, but that is another, you are doing as a community, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
don't cut that down, that you are doing a very good job. I'm
yeah. Yeah,
so
I just started a bit, but what when you say that you organize an event, it's all about teamwork, right?
yes, it's all a
And
teamwork.
so basically, to require everything, to managing your priorities, like what to do first, what is important right now. So what I seen, because I got a chance to work with you for a couple of times, and a chance, so I seen you very calm all the time. So is there something that comes over this experience, or is this by your nature? Because I seen people from the technical background, they frustrate like a hell. This most of the time they saying, oh my god, I'm not able to do work, I'm not able to have my social life, personal life at all. uh, I'm not able to attend events, because when we say community, so it's about contribution as well, right? uh, so they are not able to contribute, they said no, I wanted to leave the community, so many things. So you're very calm, you sustainable, you attend, you speak, you organize, you do a lot of things. So is this coming with experience, or is something that people need to work on?
I would say that is something people used to work on, and both thing come. And another thing is experience. So I would say, I have faced a lot of struggle in my life, and that made me like what I am right now. I would say first thing, like if you are in a problem, there are two things you can do: either you react or you respond, right? Now, when you react, and if you don't do a proper, if your reaction is not proper, things can go worse, right? So this is one tip I would say. Whenever there is a conflicting situation, or whenever there is a problem, you don't react, you respond. And communication is the key, right? And for any problem, right, you just sit over it, talk with the people, solve it. Don't react to the problem, right? So this is the first thing I always talk to my team member as well, that okay, whenever you are assigned a task, don't just say, oh, how would I do that? No, keep yourself calm, look into the task, read everything, right? Think about the solution. But first thing is that you should have a self confidence. This should not be your reaction that okay, how would I do that? Your reaction should be like, okay, I can do that. or let me try to do that. That should be your reaction, right? So this is how I would say, not reaction, the response. This is how your response should be, right? Don't be afraid. If new thing come to you, take it as a challenge. Consider that, okay, you will learn a lot of things even if you fail, but there will be a good learning opportunity, right? So this is the first thing. Don't lose the self confidence. Have confidence in yourself and your ability that you will be able to do that, and then you do that. And about being a calm, this is what I have experienced, that okay, whenever there is a problem, and one person has to take that stand about communicating and not reacting to the situation. When you don't react to the situation, but you handle it with composed mind, your problem will get over. So this is what I learned. Instead of stretching out the problem, why don't you finish the problem, right? So this is how you can do, like, don't react, just respond, communicate, understand, listen to the people, communicate. That's it, your problem will get resolved. So that's how it come with over the experiences.
Communication is the key. I totally agree with that. And one of the most important part is your attitude is really important,
Yeah.
right? If you stop, what I've seen most of the time, people following people, right?
Right.
Which people should not do that, because what they are doing in that area, because they are very interested or passionate about it, that need not be the your case, and that's the reason people lose motivation. That okay, no, this is not something for me. I give my best. And second most even they have, because when you do something you have expectation as well. I think apart from what we are getting paid for, whatever we're doing, we should not expect anything. Otherwise it's a good for you as well, because if you don't expect and you get something, that's a good motivation for you. When you expect and you don't get anything, that's the downfall. And
Right.
generally people are not able to handle it, because maybe because nowadays I think spoon feeding, a lot of people are providing spoon feeding, we seen in the corporate culture, right? So
Yeah.
that's something as you all the time said, the attitude is really really important. My another questions to you is, like, after certain period of a time, I know you are a hardcore developer, you always say that I wanted to sit in back of this laptop and I would like to do code. After so like after certain is experience, even I seen in my organization as well, people move to management side, right?
Yeah.
And you're still a hardcore developer. So what's the story? So
Yeah, so I would say, yes, every techie has that turning point in their career. After a certain number of years of experience, you have a two-way to go. Either you go on the management side or you stay on the technical side. My motivation to stay on the technical side is again the technology of passion. Because when you go on the management side, yeah, even though I am right now playing both the role, it's not just about technical role. I am also leading the team and I am playing the management role as well. But then when you are purely on the management side, you lose your contact with the technology. It's more about managing the people, empowering the people, leading the team. That's it. But what made me stick to the technical side is my passion with the technology, because I wanted to stay here. I continue wanted to solve the problem. I wanted to learn new things, learn new technologies, come up with an innovative solutions, and use the technology to empower the people, coming up with the innovative ideas and all. And that's how. And second thing is, like, even after certain number of years of experience, whenever you are staying in the technical side, there is a more expectation from wherever you are working, because considering your number of years of experience, that you have to match. And that I'm matching right now, that's the another motivation, that okay, I am able to do that. And that's why I am staying on the technical side. It's like development has become a passion now, and I cannot stay away from that. So that made me continue on the technical side rather than going on the management side.
Acha, it's like you got married to your this life, and you are stick to it, and it's just going to long last. You cannot get away from that.
You
So
can say that.
yes, you
Yeah.
cannot get away. And of course, the one of the most important that you are, if you're passionate about something, and that makes you keep on going, and that's where also you learn as well. Otherwise, there's no such areas. So if I would ask you that, what are the 5 tips that you want to give to any of your budding developer? What would be that?
Okay, so first tip would be, like, clear your fundamentals, because that is what I have seen, that most of the new developer or new person who is coming into the industry, they miss that. First thing is that clear your fundamentals. Like, uh, I have seen a lot of people that okay, they want to say, I want to start with React or Angular, but they don't know about JavaScript, right? That's the problem. Okay, so one thing is that clear your fundamentals. Second thing is that don't uh, don't stop learning, because every day new technology coming up, and you have to be up to date. So stay up to date, keep learning the new things. That is the second thing. Third thing, have a patience, because great things takes time, right? And whenever there will be time, you will achieve your success. Till the time, you just assume that there are patches getting installed in your life which is solving your problem. Then when there will be right time, your problem will be solved and you will achieve that success. The patience. Third thing is the patience. Second thing, fourth thing, I would say, dedicate yourself to the work, because whenever you are new to the industry, it's your time to learn so many things, right? There will be, there are seniors people around you. There are, try to learn everything and try to dedicate yourself to the to your work. Once you have the dedication, that will be like, and fifth, 10 and very most important tip is that be a team player, because nowadays wherever you are working, whether it's a startup or a MNC or a small and medium enterprises, teamwork is very very important, right? If you are not comfortable with the teamwork, you may not be able to succeed. So this is the fifth and most important tip, that be a good communicator, be a good listener, be a team player, develop a curiosity, and stay hungry, stay foolish. That is another thing. Okay, even if you feel that, okay, your question is very stupid, silly question, what if my senior will say, what kind of question, don't be afraid, go to your seniors. Even if a stupid silly questions, ask it. Even I am doing nowadays most of the time whenever I'm learning new things, and I feel that, okay, I'm not able to understand, I go to the expert and ask a stupid silly question. That happens
Yeah.
every time, right? So these are the tips.
No, no, totally agree. Because I always say that don't decide yourself that whether the question is stupid or not. Let the other person decide it.
Exactly, right.
And asking not question is stupidity. Asking question is not at all. But
Yeah.
and by the way, when you said about the patches installation, that reminded me of one of your tweet. Because those who don't know, Hiren is a very write very good tech jokes, by the way. And if you are following him on Twitter, you could see that. I still remember when you installed like when you took the COVID dose, you he
Second dose.
said that first patch is installed. When he took his second dose, he said second patch is installed. So that could, when you said that, I got it that you did your second dose.
So see, that's how you can make your life funny, because see, most of the time what happens is that being a developer, people said, okay, it's like very boring life. I get my task, I write code for 10 or 15 days or 10 or 15 hours a day, and there is no entertainment in my life. But when you relate your technical life with your, this kind of things, this will make your life very relaxing, and that's how you can, release down your stress, add a fun element. So what you mentioned about Dave jokes, right? Dave jokes is my way to add the fun element in my work. I try to relate my technical life with the personal things, personal life, and that's how I make a fun, and that's how it happened, right?
By the way, it is going to be like, it is actually an entertainment factor for a lot of other people as well.
Yeah,
And because I enjoying a lot when I see that. So ultimately you are also adding the entertainment or the laughter factor to someone else's life as well. So I'm
yeah.
really enjoying it, and I'm sure the other people as well. Those who are don't following, just follow him on Twitter. You're gonna get the amazing Dave jokes. Okay, I see a lot of comments over here. We got it from LinkedIn and from YouTube as well.
Mhm.
So there are a couple of people who are asking Dhaval Kaku what the discussion is about. So yes, the discussion about the talk about commit and open source, and Hiren is my first guest, where we talk about what are the achievement that we did and what's the stories behind it, maybe achievements, failure, a lot of other things. So that is my initiative to just get a chance to talk to these amazing folks near around me, like. And yes, the other question, there are a lot of praises as well. Thanks everyone for. I couldn't get all of this name, but yes, there is one interesting question that's for you, I guess, Hiren. Sagar Shelke asked question: How to handle stress while working with the less deadlines?
Okay, so like I would first think, okay, when you have some urgent work to do, right? First thing is, one I would repeat myself, don't be afraid. Okay, have a confidence in yourself that, okay, if you don't have enough time, still you will be able to complete that. That should be your first response to the problem. Second thing is that whenever you are running with a running out of time and there are problems to solve, okay, analyze it in a proper way, ask for colleagues help, ask for seniors help, and come up with a proper solution, proper steps, and then you start resolving the problem. And always have a plan B. Okay, if your plan A is not working, always have a backup plan, which is plan B, so that's how you can plan out. But second, most important thing is that don't lose your nerve. Okay, don't be don't be paranoid. Okay, I will not be able to solve the problem, my manager will scold me or something like that. Don't get that thoughts in mind. Start with a positive attitude. Okay, take it as a challenge. Fine, you want to test my technical skills. Okay, let it be. Give me a problem and I will be able to solve that. That should be your attitude. If you solve, that's what I have realized, that okay, whenever you are facing any problem in your life, if you solve it, or if you treat it with a positive attitude, your problem will go like very easily.
Very
So
easy.
that would be like, don't get paranoid, don't get afraid. uh, have a proper analysis, do a proper requirement analysis, then ask for your help. Don't wait for, let's say, if you feel that okay, you will not be able to solve the problem in some time, reach out to the people. Okay, it's not like it's always on your side. Okay, you have to solve it. If you are reaching out to people, that will help you to solve the problem very fast, right? So don't wait. If you feel that okay, I need help, go out, ask for help, and this is how you will be able to come up with with solution. So
Yeah, and I would like to add just one more thing. Basically, we when we have stress and we have heading to deadlines, we totally scold ourselves. So at that time, what I prefer to do is I start doing something which I really like or enjoy. Maybe it's for a 5 minute or 10 minutes or 15
yeah,
minutes of fun, but that will help you. Let's say if you're taking, let's say, hours of things to complete your task, if you just give yourself 15 minutes and do what you love, maybe just go to out circle or have a tea, coffee, sit alone, or do something that you enjoyed a lot doing it, that really reflect in your work. So that also you can do, and that's where also your stress goes down, because ultimately you're giving yourself as a compliment.
right.
Yes. There is one more question from Ashish Patel. I think it's talk security 101, but I think in the next. So basically, I'm not going to announce my next speaker, but he's uh, amazing speaker in cybersecurity world. So I think you are going to have a lot of questions or the stories around the security areas. So stay tuned for that one. There is one. This one is for you, Hiren. So, hi Kamlesh, by the way. So, you should call it the way jokes instead of Dev jokes. So it's a good name, by the way. You could start that one, right?
Right.
Very, very good wordplay, Kamlesh.
Great.
Uh,
Thanks Kamlesh for your suggestion.
so, I think we done with the question. There are a lot of others, but it's all about praises. Thanks everyone for congratulating us, and first thing for sure that every week I'm going to come up with this kind of episode where we going to have a lot of amazing speakers as well. I think that's it from my side as well. Hiren, do you have any question for me?
Yes, Mehul, I just want to know one thing. I saw your profile. You are working as a community manager right now, right? And this is something, I never heard about it. Like, what is this role is all about? So, can you just throw some light on that? Like, what is this role is all about, and what you are doing as a community manager, and how it can, or how other people can, uh, prefer that?
Sure. So, yes. So basically, this is one of the profiles I wanted to work for a very long time. But as you know, India is a country who doesn't have that focus as a community right now. It's focus as a community, not as a like enterprise or as a company level. So, I was working as a product manager in all my previous organization as a tech support engineer or as a DevOps engineer. But I decided at one time that now I wanted to completely move my career, because with the help of community I learned a lot, I groomed a lot, and I I have a lot of successful stories as well, a lot of failures as well, but the community helped me a lot. And when I see that overseas there are opportunities where people are managing community, because ultimately that's the part. So being a tech person also, you can be a community manager, because ultimately when you go to meet your end users or your partners, ultimately you are telling or you are sharing what are your product enhances, future requests are, or any problem that may facing. So we are the better person to help them answer them, maybe online, offline, or community forum, Discord thread, Slack channel, right, Telegram channel, where you answering them actively. So that is what your role about, that you are active, you are closely working with the marketing team and the other stakeholders, technical team, development team, testing team. And so recently I got a chance, and one most interesting area that I'm working as an open source committee manager. So the company I work for
Right.
is Extras, and they are basically one of the open source pioneers, and more than they build a lot of open source tools, and they actually firm believing the open source, and that's really admired me a lot. And that profile sounds so interesting. So then I'm working with them right now. We launched one of the tool called Carbonio, which is again an email and collaboration tool, and it's completely open source free. You can simply go and use it on your premises, because we strongly believe that you should have control of your own data, not the others. So that's the best part. And yes, and there are a lot of people nowadays opening for community managers. You can simply go and explore. If you like to talk about community, like to advocate for something that you really work for, whether it's a product or service, so I think this is the best role. There's one more, it's aligned to that, it's a developer advocate or technical
Right.
evangelist or the developer. So all are the similar area. The only thing, the small roles and responsibility different from each and other role. But the best part is that you very close, and you close to the community and the people. If that's what you target and that you love it. So I think that's your best to do. I think, yeah, I can talk about community manager as a role as a whole day, but we don't have that much time.
Right. Right. Right.
Yes, so I hope everyone, and if you need any further question, you can definitely, you can ping me on LinkedIn as well, because I'm very active on Twitter as well. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I promise that I'm going to come up with a lot of other episodes. So again, thank you, Hiren, for coming up with my first guest. That's now I'm much more motivated and much more energized. That it's going to be a crazy, and we will going to have another postcard very soon, where we are going to see, like, from the first episode 200. So whenever going to my have 100 episode, you will be the person who is going to come there, where we are going to
Right.
discuss about all these stories from how I reached from 1 to 100. And I'm sure you will be the great mentor to in this complete area. So
Right.
thank you so much for again, and thanks everyone who joined it. And have a great day, stay safe, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Mehul. Thank you very much.